Hello, welcome to the week that was, in which the Turkish invasion of northern Syria brought into focus the competing visions various states have for the future of the country. Following days of heavy shelling, the Turkish military crossed the border with ground troops and heavy armour into the Afrin region controlled by Syrian Kurds. Now, Turkey fears that a Kurdish-controlled border will strengthen Turkey's rebellious Kurds. There's been casualties on both sides and civilians are caught in the fighting. The politics of this is multi-layered. Russia had withdrawn troops from the area despite being friendly with the Kurds. They don't want to fall out with Turkey yet, even if it has invaded a Russian ally. Syria's other ally, Iran, has also kept mostly quiet as it's comfortable with Kurdish power being reduced. They have their own Kurdish issues. Now, both Russia and Iran view Turkey as a rival in the region, but for the moment, that can wait. And it gets more complex. President Trump spoke on the phone to President Erdogan this week about the crisis. Both men know the Americans support the Syrian Kurds, and the Americans have special forces troops in the Manbij region. This week, a Turkish shell fell in the area, heightening concerns about the potential for one NATO ally to inflict casualties on another, even if by mistake. Well, the American president ended the week at the Davos World Economic Forum, landing a few hours after reports that he tried to fire Robert Mueller, the special counsel investigating him over Russian connections. Was it true, he was asked? It was fake, he said, before going on to explain in a speech why he was a tremendous president whose economic policies put America first, but were good for everyone. America put freedom of navigation first this week in the South China Sea. A Navy destroyer, USS Hopper, sailed within 12 nautical miles of the Scarborough Shoal Reef in the South China Sea. This was a violation of its sovereignty. No, it wasn't, said Washington, because the sovereignty is disputed. This was the first freedom of navigation operation this year undertaken by the US Navy. Right, who's going to win this year's presidential election in Egypt? I'll take a wild guess, President Sisi. This week, one of his rivals, Lieutenant General Sami Anan, was arrested for violating military rules by announcing his candidacy without seeking their approval. The very next day, another candidate dropped out. Last month, another contender, the former Prime Minister Ahmed Shafiq, dropped out, saying he realised he was not the ideal candidate to lead the country's affairs in the coming period. Well, speaking of popularity contests, it seems it is more difficult to thread a camel through the eye of a needle than hide that it might have been injected with Botox. 12 camels were disqualified from Saudi Arabia's annual Camel Beauty Contest after receiving Botox to make their pouts look more alluring. Well, there is about $4 million in prize money at stake. Now, this story galloped around the globe, and few people in the English-speaking media could resist using an English phrase for being upset. Most coverage ended with the words, "The disqualified owners are reported to have got the hump." That was the week that was. See you next time.